Long suffering. Long suffering. You ready for some long suffering? Who's really want to long suffer? How many of you, raise your hand? Exactly. I don't know too many people that says, sign me up so I can suffer long. No, I sure don't. But that's what we're going to talk about this morning. This morning is long suffering. This morning is long suffering. Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. Got a word for you on this morning. Going to share this word with you. And I tell you what, it's been a great week. Looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be a wonderful weekend. I don't know about you, but I am really looking forward to a great weekend. It is a holiday weekend. What are you going to do? You grilling and chilling or what? Can you just put your thoughts in the chat area? Let me see. Good morning, Brenda. How are you on this morning? Thelma, how are you on this morning? Joe, how are you on this morning? What a wonderful morning. What's your plan for the weekend? What's your plan for the weekend? Brenda, I already know yours. You said that it's Willie's birthday. I think that's what you said. It seemed like I remember that. Hit me up on IG and let me know. Tony, how are you on this morning? Thelma, how are you on this morning? What's your plans on this weekend? Well, look, this is what we're going to do. Minister Mobley on this weekend, of course, is virtual family weekend at New Life. So we're sending the word out. I recorded it last night. It's going to be powerful. I'm telling you, it's a secret, but I wanted to just let you know it's going to be different. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to be different. So make sure that you don't miss it and you gather the family around and, just make sure you get the word. I thought that was the case, Brenda. Good morning. And celebrating Willie's birthday on the 4th of July. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Want to get into this word this morning, but before I do, let me just kind of give you the rules of engagements to text talk. Take away 5 minutes or less. Good morning, James. We want you to share the manna. Put your revelation that you get in the chat area so others can grab it, and then we can move it along throughout the day as others watch it and get the revelation that you got and add theirs to it. That's what we want to do. Good morning, Valerie. Good morning, Nafia. How are you all on this morning? How many of you, raise your hand. I want you to raise your hand. Put it in the chat area, whatever. How many of you said, sign me up for long suffering? Sign me up. I want to be first in line. I don't want to miss out on love, on long suffering. Well, good morning, Val. How are you on this morning? I want to talk about long suffering this morning. Long suffering this morning. The text talk and the takeaway. Here's the text, Galatians 5:22. Galatians 5:22. The fruits of the Spirit. Here is the one that I think many of us may shrink from. Long suffering. Long suffering. Let's break long suffering down. Now, in the King James Version and some versions of the Bible, you see the word forbearance. The word forbearance. The word forbearance come out of the accounting world, the numbers world, the business world. And many churches, not all church, but there are many churches in the pandemic said, okay, the bank says you don't have enough money because there's not enough money coming in and we don't want to foreclose, but we will have a forbearance. A forbearance is simply saying, and some of you say, you know what, I've had a forbearance on my student loan. I've had a forbearance on my mortgage. Is when they say, you know what, we're either going to reduce the payments, we're not going to have you to make any payments over a certain period of time. We're either going to add it on the end or we're going to increase some of the payments over time so you can catch up. We're going to have forbearance. Now, let me tell you a secret, especially in the mortgage world. If you ever have a forbearance, many times it will prevent you. When a bank sees that you had a forbearance at another financial institution, they say, you're not credit worthy. They will never tell you that up front. They'll tell you all other kinds of things, but they say forbearance means you couldn't cut it. Well, when it comes down to the fruit of the Spirit, and this is the reason they say that. Now, here's the connection. They say that because they say, you are never going to pay us. You're never going to pay us. Long suffering is, I ain't ever going to get through this. This thing is never going to end. I'm never going to get paid off for the suffering I'm going through? Here's the first thing I want you to talk about, and that is this: there is a payoff. There is a payoff with your long suffering. Grab a hold of that. Jesus said it in his word through the pen of Paul in the book of Philippians, that if you are not willing to suffer with him, you can't reign in the power of his resurrection. That reigning in the power of the resurrection is directly connected to the suffering. Said, if you can't suffer with me, don't show up for the reward. But if you suffer, there will be a payoff. There will be a payoff. Unlike what the banks think, you will get paid off, because God is going to say, look, I see your long suffering. Here's the second thing. In the middle of the long suffering, he'll give you peace. In the middle of your long suffering, he'll give you peace. How many of you know that he will give you perfect peace whose minds are stayed on thee? And when you are suffering long, your mind is everywhere. Mostly on, when is this going to end? And if you're not careful, what's on your mind will come through your mouth. And you will begin to talk, mumble, and grumble. And I'm here to tell you, long suffering will turn into no reward if you begin to sound like the children of Israel. They never got to the promised land because their long suffering turned into a lack of peace, which came out of their mouth with grumbling. So if you want to make sure you make it to the end, have the peace of God in your mind, keep your mind on him, and not simply, when is this going to be over? Here's the third thing I want to share with you. You got to be persistent. You got to be persistent. James talks about persistence. He kind of connects it with patience, depending on the translation that you look. He says, now count it all joy, and knowing that if you just hang in there and be patient, because patience or persistence and counting it all joy must have its perfect work. It must have its perfect work. So what he's saying here is there is a payoff for the forbearance that you're going through. There has to be peace because you got to keep your mind on him. And you must be persistent because it has to have its perfect work to get you to the end of the long suffering. What's your takeaway this morning and for the weekend to get you through? Here it is. Holy Spirit, remember, this is a gift of the Spirit. Holy Spirit is the only one that can help you suffer long. Holy Spirit, you better get Holy Spirit in your life, not only the indwelling, but the baptism, so that you might be able to have the manifestation of the fruits, because that's the only one, he's the only one that can get you through suffering long. Hey, the Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you, give you peace. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself. I'll see you Monday, 4th of July, with some fresh manna, as well as Sunday with our virtual service online only. Don't miss it. It's going to be good. God bless you. Bye now.